Alright, video 3 of my journey to the leaderboard. Right now I'm at 2192, so I'm almost over 2200, which I've never been before. This is actually the highest I've ever been rated, so that's pretty cool. Again, the leaderboard's around 2285, so if I can get on that leaderboard, I'll be very happy. So here we go, I have the black pieces, and on Chessable, it's a website where you study openings. I've really been trying to learn the Banco Gambit, so I've really been looking at a lot of lines there. So I was planning on this game to go into that, but he didn't play d5 here, which is fine. My opponent was 1810, which is kind of lower rated. I mean, it's better than average, obviously. I set, when I create the games, I set a minimum rating of my opponent, and sometimes I have to take a lower-ish opponent if nobody else is playing. So that's what happened here. So, not playing a Banco, obviously, I'm just going to play simple developing moves. I think looking at it, I didn't think this was a huge mistake or anything, but it felt wrong. I think he needs to just take on d5 or something, because I think d4 just looks really good for me here. And I do play d4. So he plays knight e4, and I end up playing bishop b4. Bishop e7, so I was looking at, I mean, bishop e7 just looks too passive. I have a good position here. I think I need to play bishop e4. So that was this is my thinking about that. And here I looked at it for a really long time. At first I did look at bishop d2, because if he takes with his bishop, I win his knight, and if he takes with his queen, I win his knight. But I realized that he can just take with his knight, so what was I thinking? It wasn't a serious consideration. And then I started looking at knight takes e4, and the idea is that if he takes my queen, then I'm just going to take here. Yeah, and then I'll take that at the end of the line. So that is what I ended up playing. And I take with the king here. The knight is placed. I don't need a castle in this game. Sometimes you would want to take with the knight here to preserve your castle. But the reason you wouldn't want to castle is if you want your king in the center of the board, because there is no chance that you'll get mated or pressured. So 2 rooks and a bishop aren't going to pressure my king. He's not going to put me in any kind of mating threat, so I can take with the king. And now then my knight gets to stay on c6, guarding that pawn, and will eventually might move my knight into like d4. But for now, yeah, just taking with the king, that's why it's a better move. So he plays there. When I'm ahead, unless it's a classical, like, over-the-board game, this is a classical game, obviously, but unless it's over-the-board and I have, like, 2 hours, I just like to trade down. Even if it's not quite the best play, I generally just think, like, okay, I'm ahead, time to trade down. So I don't always make the perfect move, but when I'm in a completely one spot, I just go ahead, and if he lets me trade down, I'll do it. So here I'm just going to think about putting a knight on d4, maybe put a rook on d8, trade everything down. The position's obviously super good for me. The key point of the game already, the key point of the game is already passed. Pawn to d4 was part of it, and then knight takes that tactic where knight takes knight. So we're just gotta close out the game here. I'm not scared of any like b4. There's really nothing he can do. So he's just gonna give me an opportunity to trade the rooks. Usually, I mean, I guess I could have just taken the rook. It looked good bringing my knight into here. And then here, if it were over the board, I don't think I would take the knight. I don't think I would take the bishop with my knight. I would probably just find the best possible move. But trading down, I looked at it. I looked at resulting position after A takes B, and it looked really good for me. It looked completely won, so why, I think I had 3 minutes left too, so it's probably even better that I took it. It's probably not the best move though. And then I just trade again. And so he's down to a rook, and I have a rook and a bishop. And I'm going to snag one of these pawns here. I looked at everything here. I looked at all his like c6 pushes and rook d7 stuff, and I didn't see any possible threats. So it's just closing it out here. Pretty much not much more to say. Just gotta finish it off. Anyways, on here. So up to 2192. It's gonna be tough to keep winning, and this one I only get 2 points for. I can't really help it though. I set a minimum rating for opponents, and he was the one who clicked on my game. So hopefully I win my next few games here and get closer to that top 200 leaderboard. I'm pretty excited. I feel like I'm playing decent chess. I'm going to keep studying on Chessable to try to get my openings a little more precise. So I'll see you next video.